Yo, Jamie, what are you doing over there on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just paying some friends for dinner we went to last night. So I'm using Zelle because I had a lot of quesadillas, but I didn't have a lot of, dinero yesterday. So, I'm paying them back through Zelle. It's really easy and, convenient.
I love Zelle. I just use Zelle because shout out to Miss Yaya. I went to a comedy show with her the other day and she fronted the money for the tickets. And then I just used Zelle to pay her back. And it was so simple. And the show was very funny. And Zelle handled my money. And that rhymes.
Wow.
Okay?
Look at Rachel spitting about Zelle.
Okay. Chicka. Scratch that. Okay.
Frank,
and what about you, Frank?
I know Frank uses Zelle.
I had to, guys. A lot of places in the city right now are not accepting cash. Don't ask me why. And I was out with my brother, and guess what? He paid with Zelle. Oh, I paid with Zelle, should I say, because I paid him with Zelle afterwards. So it worked out great for me.
It's a family affair. It can be a family affair.
Yes.
Look, Eloero, Zelle is a great way to send money to family and friends, no matter where they bank in the U.S., okay? Money sent goes straight into the recipient's bank account, typically in minutes between, enrolled users. You don't have to download another app, which I love because it's probably already in your banking app. And if you're wondering is it in my banking app? Do I have a bank that supports Zelle? It's in over 1,000 different banking apps.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know
That's crazy.
maybe if you're in Banco Unpopular, maybe it won't be in that one, but it should be in your banking app. If not, I would get a new bank because, Zelle's great. And guys, for your birthdays, I'm probably gonna send you a Zelle gift. Throw a couple bucks in your Zelle account. Buy whatever you want.
Nice.
I welcome it, and I'm looking forward to the Zelle notification.
So, LOLs, look for Zelle in your banking app today.
It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Woo! Hi, summer temperatures are upon us. The sun. Yeah, try the veal. Tip your waitress. Have a good night, everybody. It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Yeah.
Woo! Do you not see that I'm tanner than I was last week? I'm so happy about that.
Did you finally get that at-home spray tan machine?
No, this was done at home, but outside because the sun is shining.
I seen you in the backyard, girl.
I'm out there in my oasis. Hi, it's your friend Rachel La Loca. A bit tanner this week, feeling a little golden. You know what I mean? Who else is here?
What's up? It's Jay Fern, still pale, still with my
yes, I can
still need to get some
that.
sun.
All right, right, Jamie. The summer's coming around. You'll be all right. This is Frank Nibs up from the Heights. You know what I mean? You know how we do.
Frank, you looking a little sun hiss, a little sun kiss.
Yo, it's
especially on the bald head.
Yeah. I went for one of my walks. The sun was out this week. I came out, sparingly, but we're getting there. We're getting to spring.
It feels good, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel so good? Like the sun's rays, it just gives you a feeling. The vitamin D. I mean, it's just great, guys. Go out and enjoy it, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's amazing what some fresh air will do. Well, here we are again. And I'm so happy to see my brethren. You all look great.
Likewise.
We're some busy bees in the streets, right?
Oh yeah.
What up?
Yeah, yo, we've been going to events and stuff. Let me just say, I took part in a really interesting comedy show.
Really?
Over the weekend.
Rachel's always doing some experimental comedy. She was one of the first people to start doing Zoom comedy shows.
Yeah,
we were like, wait, what? So you're in the Zoom and people come see it in the Zoom? We were asking her questions. She was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna try it.
Exactly.
So what's this one about?
Well, I love these kinds of shows. I actually didn't even talk about on this podcast yet, but I went out with Yaya the other day and I saw a show called Shtick and a Pole. and
Stick
it
and a
was
pole.
shtick, like the Yiddish Jewish a shtick and a pole. And basically, it was a comedy show where there were stand-up comics, well-known TV writers performing, like great stand-up comics, and in between each comic was a pole dancer. Oh yeah, a pole dancer.
Damn, that sounds good.
Sounds like something Frank would like pitch.
Yeah, definitely.
It was amazing. It was burlesque type stuff and comedy.
Wow,
you got to check it out. Stick and a pole. They've been around for like 8 years, 9 years, but that's not what I guest judged over.
Damn, I would have helped you.
Frank would have been there. He would have been laughing with a bunch of singles.
Can I just point out something that imagine sitting at a comedy show and a pole dancing show, like the myriad of emotions that you feel. And actually the host called it out. The host was like, tonight you're going to leave like with your gut hurting from laughing and horny. So it's going to be, some great sexing tonight. If you have a partner, maybe you'll find somebody outside. I forget, but she went into it and was like, have fun. Okay. So I guest judged a show called Art Smackdown, like the smacking it down, Art Smackdown.
Okay.
And it's produced by some friends of mine from the Old School Sketch Show family, the show that was at the People's Improv Theater and then at Asylum, and then they did virtual. I think I've been in that show 4 times. It's an amazing, the longest running sketch comedy show in New York City. Old School Sketch Show. Anyway, so shout out to Slaney Rose Jordan and Phil Casal and Micah. Like, they came up with this show where a guest judge develops 2 challenges for actual artistes. Like artists, like visual artists that either paint, draw, use crayons, Photoshop, whatever it is. And they're from across the country. It was live on Twitch. You guys know about Twitch, right?
Yes,
Twitch is pretty cool. So it was live on Twitch, and I gave them challenges and stories behind the challenges. So the first challenge was, I've spoken about it on this podcast. Now I'm into hiking. And the first time I hiked was when I went to the red carpet premiere in Utah for the Tuttle Twins. I was like in this beautiful mountainous area right outside of my hotel, and I did not have hiking clothes with me. So I put this picture on Instagram with like my Zara faux fur coat, my Louis Vuitton clutch, my Jordans, and I remember my friend Amy was like, what the F are you wearing hiking in Utah? So I told them that story. And I've since learned how to hike in better gear. I've now been on 3 hikes. I'm very excited. And so I'm showing you guys the artwork here. I'll have to post it on my Instagram. These pictures are phenomenal.
Wow,
look, they even grew the gray stripe. They grew like a rock formation.
What's that called? That's like a very well-known place in Utah, that rock, right? That's like a very
these guys were like scientists and artists. I mean, they had one of me where I was an adult girl baby.
You're in the baby Bjorn.
I'm in the baby Bjorn, just my face superimposed on a baby. It's so great. So I really had a great time. That was one of the challenges. And then the other challenge was just about like a reflection. It was an amazing show and so funny. Check it out. I think the replay is there on Twitch. And again, it's called Art Smackdown. And I'm open. I love these kinds of shows. How creative. I love when like creativity is displayed and things like this are fused, art and comedy, pole dancing and comedy. You never know what you're going to get. So, like our guest says in this interview, you'll hear later on, experiment, go for it. You know what I mean? Sky's the limit.
Frank, did you travel anywhere? Did you do anything fun?
Well, I'm coming down from doing the film out in Staten Island, so I took up a job now.
Are you wrapping up? What is this? The Apocalypse Now of Staten Island? Like,
I took up a new job now. I took up a new job, guys. I'm installing cameras. I started installing cameras out in the Bronx.
What?
So yeah,
this guy is like all over the place.
Yeah, man, I'm installing surveillance cameras out in the Bronx. I almost got killed. Some kid wanted to kill me. He was like, "Yo, my man, don't point that at the corner, yo. It's gonna be some problems." I was like, yo, dude, I'm only doing my job. He's like, yo, my mans, do not point that at the corner. It's crazy, man.
Can you put some on the MTA? Because it seems like theirs don't work all the time.
Yeah, the MTA is going to get some soon. And the buses, too. Yeah, it's going to get crazy.
I didn't know you do that. Like, you always surprise me with the stuff that you end up doing.
Yeah, man,
I'm doing this job where, like, I'm building a Ferris wheel. And I'm like, wait, what? How do you have these skills that we haven't heard about?
I got a lot of skills, man. I take up with it, but it's good, man. Putting up making the city safer. Putting up these surveillance cameras. So let's see how this goes. I got
in the year 2022. Are we gonna get 4K street cameras? I feel like we still get that same security camera footage from the 80s.
That fuzzy look, right?
Like you can't make out who it is, and it's blurry. And
then they expect everybody. They put it on the news like, "This is the man we're looking for." That's a man. Looks like a chia pet. How are we supposed to identify this man in the streets?
And now with the mask, it just looks like the mummy. They all look like mummies, like mummified zombies and shit. I'm like, can we update? Can you go to Sharper Image and buy like bulk cameras for the streets?
Right. The assailant has a mustache. Really? That's a mustache on the camera? It looks like pizza. Looks like he was eating pizza or something. What type of bullshit is this?
Yeah, but it captures rats perfectly. Like anytime there's video of rats,
crystal
it's like,
clear.
Why do I see this so clear?
Crystal clear. This is the news story on the rats with the visuals behind them. We have actual footage of a pregnant rat giving birth in the sewer. We're going to go live to the footage. Why is that crystal clear? Why is the rat giving birth crystal clear?
Why is like the rodent placenta glistening? Why am I able to see that so clearly? And I can't see like a gang of 5 guys walking in the street, because it looks like, the first black and white television footage.
Oh, that's the gang attacking somebody? It looks like they're doing a conga line. What is this?
I have like family videos from like the 80s with those big video cameras that look better than the footage they get from the street.
Oh God, they hated the cam. Honey, smile. It's your birthday. Get that thing out of my face. That was always the video in my house.
Yeah.
It looked like a big movie camera.
Yeah, no, I'm like, my father would take video of him video himself in the mirror in the old videos, and you could see that it looks way bigger than him. Like he's a small dude. It looks like he's holding like that boombox from the guy from like Do the Right Thing. It's like he's like Radio Raheem. It looks like he's holding up a huge ass boombox. But no, it was the top of the line video camera from Radio Shack from 1988.
No. So that held the VHSs inside. They recorded on those giant VHSs. Yeah. They were so heavy. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Woo! Oh man. Are we supposed to be doing a podcast or are we just talking and kicking it? I'm like, I don't even know what we're laughed so hard right now. I forgot where we were.
So yeah, guys, that's what I've been doing. I'm hoping to make the New York a safer place. I'm probably gonna do this for another month, and then I'll see what I move on to after that.
Wow, Frank. Your resume must be 30 pages long.
Next, he's just gonna be like, "Yo, I got this new blacksmith job that I'm working on. I gotta go to Pennsylvania."
Yo, they asked me to put up a reservoir in between Colorado and Mississippi, so I'm building a reservoir.
Hey,
yeah, fun.
You never know, man, guys. The hustling job of a creative in New York, man. You gotta take what you get.
I'm ghost hunting now and shit. So like, we're looking at some haunted spots up in Jersey right now. So.
Frank, what's that noise? Where are you? Oh, yo, I'm cutting down trees in Canada. Yeah, Christmas season is upon us.
There's good money out here.
Let me find out you the Latino brawny man.
Where the Latino Paul Bunyan and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
We gotta stop. It hurts. My cheeks hurt. I think we have a guest. We have a guest.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. This guy's he's gonna get us up there. Oh yeah.
Wow. Yes. Speaking of getting us up there, he takes people to what he says, the 99th floor in the clouds.
Oh,
so I'm so excited. You guys know I experienced one of his dinners a couple of weeks ago where we shot a segment for a cable network. I can't wait for that to air so I could share. But for now, we have an interview with none other than Chef Miguel Trinidad.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is the part on Latinos Out Loud where we interview, fill in the blank. I say it every week.
Oh my.
Someone amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. You know what's even more amazing is when I asked him, like, yo, what's like your formal title? Like, how should I introduce you? He was like, amazing human. And he's right. He's an amazing human, and he's gonna cook up some stuff for us right now on this podcast. Please put your pots and pans in the air for Miguel Trinidad.
Yes.
That
is the best introduction I have ever had.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not the first time that I've heard that, but I'm gonna accept it. Thank you so much for like really just appreciating your intro, and thank you so much for being on the Latinos Out Loud podcast. I'm really loud right now. I'm gonna take it down a few notches. The red bar on my recording thing here is like, be quiet. Be quiet. Okay, settle down. I'm just really excited to have Chef Migs on the show right now. Okay.
Wow. Finally.
He is an iconic figure. We've been talking about him. Your ears must have been ringing. They must have been ring-a-ling-a-ling, school bell a ring, because Shaba, because we've been talking about you for a while and like wanting to go check out your cuisine. Dare I say the C word? Your blank cuisine? Can I say it on this podcast? Your cannabis.
There's nothing wrong with the C word.
Your cannabis cuisine. We've been wanting to go for a while. I'm sorry to cut you off.
A long time.
Long time.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys. I've been a fan of the podcast for a while. I'm a little offended that I didn't get a whoop, because other people get it all the time and everything. But it's okay. I think I have to earn it.
Oh snap!
Me being Dominican and all.
Wow. I'm so touched. Frank.
I don't have any words.
No. It's like, thank you so much for inviting me onto this. It's something that I've been following for a while. I met Rachel, a month ago? Yeah. And it seems like, we're family already. But that's how Latinos roll, It's like we connect on one level, and it's like, that's it. We're locked in forever.
Pa siempre. I already got 99th floor tattooed on my back. I'm committed.
Damn, you beat me to it.
I had to, because we're family, and I'm loyal. I'm a Leo. So it's a small one. You can't even, and it's also in Arabic, so nobody could really figure it out. But anyway, I don't know why I chose Arabic, but there's different languages on my body, i.e. there is Hebrew. It's so weird. Okay. Hi. So we met a month ago, and literally that's how we roll, because I met you and we just hit the road on a road trip to Napa from Sacramento Airport. And we were on the road and learning a lot about each other. It was me, you, and Juan Roland. Shout out to Juan Camilo Dykeman Beer, who we also have to have on this podcast, ASAP Rocky. Okay. I'm on it. And then we just started talking. And again, I've known about your brand. I'd really like to get into it, or one of them, I should say. So one of the things that you have discovered is cannabis cuisine through your brand 99th Floor. So if you wouldn't mind, Chef Migs, please tell our listeners all about 99th Floor.
Well, thank you. And yes, let me tell you a little bit about 99th Floor. I'm Miguel Trinidad. I am a born and raised New Yorker, grew up on the Lower East Side. I am one of the founding partners of 99th Floor. And what is 99th Floor, you ask? Great question. 99th Floor is a cannabis culinary dinner party, right? And that is just part of who we are. And we do these dinners to promote the brand, to promote our edibles line, which should be released within the next year once everything is legal in New York City.
Right.
Our mission statement is to destigmatize cannabis through the universal language of food. And the way we do it, not anybody else, the way we do it by microdosing. Okay? So it's like, for all those Latinos out there, for all of our mothers, our tias, that generation that has looked at cannabis as the devil's lettuce, as you start with this Durón Tecato, it's like, I wanted to change that conversation, right? I wanted to educate people on the medicine of the plant and try to steer my Latinos away from all those pharmaceuticals that they keep pumping into our bodies to just keep us quiet. It's like, the medicine that we get from this plant keeps Latinos loud, right?
Wow.
Keeps us alive.
I like
vibrant.
Keeps us alive. Absolutely.
that's who we are, and it just keeps us there.
Holy
That's
smokes.
amazing.
I feel
Yeah,
high
literally,
already.
holy smokes. Yeah, I love how you just said that. We're just throwing them out there tonight. Wow.
No
We're
punch
just a
drink,
bunch of
right?
stoners. We're just a bunch of stoners. You know what I mean? Okay, there's so much to unpack here. So one would hear cannabis cuisine and I don't know, think it's like your average like hot dog sprinkled with some keef, okay? Or like, you know, something simple. I just want to tell all the listeners, I'm going to debunk that myth right now, because what Chef Migs cooks up is literally it's high quality, thought out cuisine.
Hmm.
You go there for an experience. He also tells a story through food. You know, I peeped that. I was like, this is so
Thank
planned
you.
that it tells a story. So could you go through like what a menu, or maybe the menu that we had the other night, or what a typical menu or average menu looks like at 99th floor?
Well, just like any chef preparing a meal for guests, it's like I look for the best quality. So whatever strain I get that is the best quality is what determines the menu. So I take that strain, find out what the effects are. I want to know what the terpene profile. Terpenes is the flavor profile, and
Mm.
that determines the menu that I come up with. Now, I want to take you on a journey, and I want to play with your palate, but I also want to play with your mood. Right?
Are
I
you
want you to
listening
dig
to
your.
this? This is
Wow.
exciting.
Oh
I'm gonna
man.
shut
I
up. I
haven't
gotta
said
go
a
on
word.
mute.
Jesus
I gotta go
Yeah.
on
Christ.
mute. I'm going on.
I'm like the Dominican Harry Potter. Okay,
Ooh.
I pull out the chancleta, and it's like I cast my spell, and everybody is having a great time. Okay? I
Yes.
want to make sure that that
Yes.
experience puts you, in that mood, because I want you to feel. What's the best way of describing it? Think of it like drinking a bottle of wine, or drinking some brugal on the weekend. It's like you're not chugging the bottle, you're going to sip it, and your mood's going to change throughout the evening. Uh, it's going to enhance your mood. This is exactly what those meals are all about. I want to play with your palate. It's like I want you to take a bite, and I want that finish to keep you wanting more. So you're going to want to come back for that bite. It's like once you walk out, you're like, damn, I can still taste that. I want more. Right.
Mm.
But the effects that you get from it, it's like, there's euphoria. We take away all inhibition. We bring people out of their shells. If you're an introvert, it's like these meals and the strains that I use make you an extrovert. So like that, you can talk to the people about it and learn more about what it is that you're getting into. And you make connections that'll also last a lifetime, like me and Rachel.
Wow.
We experienced so much together. It's hard to summarize, but I remember when we got together at this beautiful test kitchen in a really cool part of Brooklyn. I didn't know what to expect, guys. I actually, okay, can I confess now that it's like post? I'm gonna recap. Like, I thought I was gonna walk out of there, like half baked, like Chappelle and his gang, like talking to horses, you know what I'm saying? Feeding snacks to the police horses, you know what I'm saying? You remember the movie? And no,
Remember?
that wasn't the case. I was euphoric. I also made strong bonds that evening. You're absolutely right, because we all experienced this together. And there was nothing like the moment where something was served and nobody, like all conversation halted. You could have been in the best conversation. It could have been like, right. So I actually have a third arm and I store it in wait, the food's here. Then the food is served. All eyes are on the food. No one's talking. And then we all recollect. We all get together again after. Or actually, no, I'm lying. There's another step. There's that, oh my God. And we all look at each other like, oh my God. Like, it's so good. Like, Okay. So confession. All right. A few confessions. Chef Miggs and I spoke about my food allergies. And I also told him that I'm not necessarily allergic to seafood, but I just don't partake. Me in the sea, like I'll swim in you sea, but that's all I can see.
That's
You know
all
what
you
I'm
want to
saying?
see.
That's all I want to see. So he told me, he's like, there's going to be seafood on the menu. And I'm going to read you this menu because I have it in front of me. It's amazing. And I tasted everything. And I ate seafood that evening because it tasted so good and it didn't taste like seafood.
Mm.
I also left again feeling like I wanted more. I was so sad that the meal ended. True talk. And it was like 1,000 courses. Like, don't get it twisted. Like courses kept coming out. No, courses kept coming out. And it was like another course. So things like pea soup with canna cheese and caviar.
Damn.
Let that sink in. Pea soup with canna cheese and caviar. Okay.
Fino.
Here, do you want to add anything to this, chef, before I jump to the next item?
I think you forgot the crab that was in there.
The crab.
Ooh.
The crab. And you,
So this was a very light dish, something that I wanted. Every dish has a purpose because I want it to be the delivery system for the medicine that's coming into you. All right. So that being a light summer dish, fresh peas, playing around with the can of cheese. So again, it's like we put a lot of thought into it. It's like I actually made that cheese and infused that milk. I infused the milk in order to make that cheese so I could have that cannabis flavor into it. Okay? And then it had this chorizo oil, which added this little smokiness.
Oh, the chorizo oil. How could I forget the chorizo oil?
I know. How could you forget the chorizo oil?
I'm going to slap myself. Hold on.
Espérate, because you have to slide in some Latin flavor in there in every single course. That chorizo oil just brought everything together.
Wow. Miguel, you must be like a scientist because you talked about microdosing. How did you get to the point where you measure all these different, oils, whether it's milk, whether it's an oil, and you infuse this and not overdoing it? Because for me at least, when I eat edibles, I may overdo it. I know that from speaking to, shout out to Vanessa Perez, Butterfly Trees, she loved you. And she loved, that 99 floor thing you were doing like pre-COVID. So I was hearing about you a long time ago, and I've heard that, which, you have something that you don't overdo it. How do you control that? What is it? What is the science to it?
Well, I'll tell you first, shout out to Vanessa, Butterfly Treats. Awesome person. I love her
That's
so
our
much.
homegirl. That's our homegirl for life.
Got so much.
I'm going to see her tomorrow, by the way. We have lunch on the calendar.
Familia.
You give her a big kiss and hug for me.
Right.
I will.
The inspiration for microdosing was I got really fucked up at a dinner. Right?
Okay.
I was at a cannabis dinner, and this was right when we were starting, and we wanted to check out what people were doing. So we went to this dinner, and it was just way too strong. You had 30 strangers on a rooftop who were stuck. Like nobody was talking because, it's like we've all had that bad experience when it comes to edibles where you're holding onto your seat waiting for that ride to end.
Yeah.
And that's not a comfortable experience. If we're going to do this, cooking with cannabis has to be done right. So every single person that comes in, whether they're a novice or an expert, can have an amazing experience and never be to the point where they're stuck. Because I love people coming to these dinners and I love every single individual, but I also need them to leave because I can't babysit the whole night.
You could do it all night. Yeah.
And I want them to leave in a, elated mood, in an elevated mood, and feel happy and really think about what just happened and would I come back again and would I tell my friends, and is this something I can bring my mommy or my tia to, and would they be cool with it? And I think that that's the conversation that we're trying to have when we present these courses and these meals.
Yeah.
You also told a very moving story about a family member who was anti-cannabis and whom you are now the edibles supplier for. Could you talk to us about that? Because we all have those people in our family that are like, no, que no, don't tell your father. But then they're like, suffering from osteoporosis or, any of the osises, endometriosis, and then they pop an edible. They're running a marathon in the park. So talk to us about that conversion and that family member, if you don't mind, and that story, because I think people will relate.
I will tell you that person is my mother. And I'll tell you that if she listens to this podcast, she's going to be like, no, that never happened. I don't even know who this kid is. I don't know him. Right?
Él es mentiroso. No sé.
Yo no conozco ese muchacho. Quítate el medio.
Pero pásame eso.
But, this was one of our missions with 99 Floor. It was like, especially for me in the Latino community, I saw my mother at one point she was consuming like 17 pills a day, right?
Wow.
3 of those were antidepressants. Another couple were like pain medication, and the combination, it said on the label, "Oh, will make you drowsy." But if you're taking 5 pills that make you drowsy, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sleep all day. And there was a good 3 months of my adult life where my mother, it's like every time I went to see her, she was in bed, she was tired, she was sleeping, and I'm like, what's going on? And I had to get more involved and call the doctors up and be like, hey, what's going on? There's too many medications. And then reading about the side effects of all these things, and I'm like, if you just took one edible or a topical or a tincture, it's like you can eliminate 8 of these pills, right? You can eliminate the one for depression, the one for anxiety, the one to increase your appetite, the pain medication, use some topicals to take away your back pain because you're sleeping all day, so now you wake up all stiff. So I went ahead and I tried to convince her, and man, I failed at every single turn.
Wow.
No, yo voy a estar en la calle vendiéndome el cuerpo. I'm going to be a prostitute. I'm like, Mom, no, that's not going to happen.
Yo soy una craquera.
No. Y el doctor, si él me saca sangre, me van a meter presa. I'm like, Mom, that's not going to happen. It's like, first of all, nobody's going to arrest a 70-year-old woman for taking a little bit of weed, right? So I had to change the packaging, change the delivery system. Like, I needed to understand who my mother was. And my mother has a sweet tooth. She loves chocolate. So I brought her some chocolates. I brought her some chocolates that were very low dose. And I left it in the fridge. And I said, Mami, mira, le trajo uno dulce. Right? It has weed. It has weed in it. I'm going to leave it here. If you feel like you want to try it, go for it. Right? And she told me she took one and she had the best sleep ever. Right?
Wow.
I left it there. And I remember coming back a week later. And usually, New York City, I go, I press the buzzer. She lets me into the building. She unlocks the door. So when I get up to the 5th floor, the front door is open. I open the door and I swear to God, I saw my mother skip.
Wow.
I swear to God, I saw her skip towards me. And I'm like, hey, this is weird.
She was floating, huh?
She was floating. And we sat down and we started talking, and she was so animated, so full of life. She was the woman that I remembered as a kid, who was just so animated and so lively. And I'm like, Mommy, what's going on? You're like different today. And she goes, ay, me comí dos de esos dulces, pero no me hizo nada. I said, okay. A week later, she's like, hey, se me acabaron los chocolates. Si tú pasas por aquí, tráeme otro más. And I'm like, okay. Now this is the door opening, right? And this is me having to educate her on what food is. So like, she comes over to my house for dinner, and I'm like, hey, taste it. That has weed in it? I said, yeah. Okay, just a little bit, right? And that little bit will eventually, grow into a dose of something that she's comfortable with. But it's baby steps. And these are conversations that I have with all my Latinos. It's like, how can we pull our relatives away from all these medications? How can we show them that this isn't bad? Because as Latinos, we can go out on a weekend and drink all weekend long, get wasted, stumble in the streets, and that's okay. But you smoke a little weed, you're a crackhead.
That's true.
That's the stigma. That's the lessons. Those are the lessons that, remember, like back in the day in elementary school, junior high school, like in my school in Brooklyn, they had like the local 61st precinct, like lieutenant come in. And he's like, all right, kids, these are barbiturates. All right. You don't want to do these. All right.
The DARE program.
Right. Then he's like, and this is Mary Jane, marijuana. You don't want to do it because it's a gateway drug. All right. It'll lead you to the barbiturates. It'll lead you to all of these oids and stuff. And I remember like them teaching us this stuff. And so our parents and generations before that are also under that same train of thought. The gateway drug. Remember that term? It was freaking everywhere in the 80s. Marijuana is a gateway drug, and the 90s and the 2000s. It's now like slowly disappearing because everyone's seeing that it's bullshit. Okay. Okay, talking about dosage, I want to just call back to the experience I had at 99th floor. I want to just shout out what you do. And now, look, I'm not a pro but I am a connoisseur.
Come on, Rachel. Come on.
All right. But what does that mean to be a pro? Like, okay, I'm a connoisseur. I'm a huge fan. I partake for a multitude of reasons, recreational, and also to help with other things that I'm suffering from. So I appreciate when you give us the dosage at each course. He will present the course and then talk about the dosage. So all the mathematicians at the table are like, all right, like calculating, we're up to 12.5 grams. You know who is the mathematician at our table? Shout out again, Juan Camilo Dykeman Beer. Yep. He was the accountant. He was like, all right, guys, so we're up to 22.5, I think is where we netted at. Wow. 22.5 grams, which, milligrams.
Sorry. Milligrams.
Yeah, chill, girl.
High, my bad. Yeah. Milligrams, which actually is a really good dose. It's a little, I mean, for me, again, I was handling it very well. Very, very well. And I was still having a great time. But I think that's a really great number to net out at. Do you ever alter that number? Do you ever switch it up? Or how do you even get to that number yourself?
I think that number, our meals, including the cocktail, rounds out to about 25 milligrams per, meal. And I think that's a good place to start. Now, do I change that? I do have some people that come in that are heavy hitters, and they have a little extra sauce on the side. That's a little bit more potent.
Una salsita extra.
Sauce on the side, Margaret. All right.
But if people want, to get a little bit more elevated, I change the delivery system. So depending on the meal, for instance, if I was to infuse butter, it's going to take longer for your system to absorb as if I was using coconut oil.
Holy smokes, science, man.
So it's like,
my mind is all right.
Right.
Blown.
That's why, when you come in, it's like I start you off with a cocktail and a tincture. That cocktail is infused, the tincture is infused, and I use that tincture in the cocktail. So like that, within 15 minutes, like, wow. If anybody's a little nervous, I've just calmed you down.
It was
now you see people talking.
It was like, the plane landing in Bora Bora and getting the welcome hibiscus drink, I was like, this, I knew right off the bat that this was going to be a mother effing experience. I got real excited. I was excited already, but to be greeted with that was really heavenly. Okay. And now we must celebrate because, correct me if I'm wrong, are we going to jump for joy for the first permanent pop-up? And I gotta tell you, I'm jumping even more for joy. Yeah, we're gonna give us all the info. But more exciting is that they're celebrating with music of two of my favorite rappers. We need to understand what's going down here. There's a lot that I just said. Chef Mix, please explain this news, if you may.
Well,
if you will.
We are still waiting for everything to be completely legal. So for our members only, we are still providing a service, right? Where we found a space, amazing space that Rachel was fortunate to see. And we are doing, that is our permanent space.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh my God. Congrats. Go ahead.
So, we are hosting a couple of dinners in June, a few dinners in June.
Yes.
Music theme. The first night is going to be Biggie. A tribute to Biggie.
Second night, 50th anniversary, baby.
That's right. The second night is going to be all Jay-Z. And
oh my God, that's my man's right there.
It's
you have to come, bro. You have to come. I still got a seat for that Saturday if you want to come.
Oh, I'm in there, bro. I'm in there. Mm-hmm. Don't even say no more.
Yeah, I want to go too. I want to roll. That sounds really incredible. If there's space, if not, I understand. Those that have not experienced it, I really want you to experience it, Frank. I can't double dose. I can't wait to do it again, but I don't want to take a seat away from somebody who hasn't done it yet because it's so great. Well, that's really exciting. So that's sort of my next question too. I want to talk a little bit about the legalities around this, right? We are in a transition here in New York, right? Legalization has passed. We're all still kind of learning. What can we walk in the streets with? What could we keep at home? There's this commercial playing everywhere now. I don't know if y'all heard it, called Join the Cannabis Conversation. Guess what? Sidebar, total sidebar, I auditioned to do the VO for that commercial. I'm just saying.
Okay.
And I'm like, if I would have gotten, I'm just saying, it wasn't meant to be, but I'm hearing it everywhere. And in Spanish too, but I love the commercial. When I auditioned for it, I was like, I love this spot. I hope I get it because I love it so much. We do need to have the cannabis conversation because we all need to be educated on the rules. What can we do? So in this space, Chef Migs, what can you do? What are you allowed to do? And how are you maneuvering these legalities? And what do you need to become legal to like then say, all right, everybody, the floor is yours. The door's open, sesame.
Well, much respect to the Office of Cannabis Management because they're still trying to figure out what the rules are and what the laws are. The laws have been written, but what are the regulations? Like when you hear that commercial, it's like, you can walk up, you can have up to, 3 garbage bags full of weed on you and walk down the street and hand it out to everybody, but you can't take any money for it, So, the rules are still being identified. They're still being written. All those regulations will come into effect within the next year. So, there's a lot of people that have been operating in the legacy market and everybody's showing respect to the OCM. It's like they're not going out there whiling. There's some people that are in Washington Square Park setting up tables and selling weed.
Yeah, uptown too, man. They got menus
What?
on the streets out here, man, and out on the
Are
heights.
the dreads still out there?
It's getting crazy.
The dreads are still out there with the lamb spread,
Aye, Rasta, Rastafari. I got that kush. Lot of mercy.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
We all bought. We all bought from the dreads at one point in our life in Washington Square Park. Am I wrong?
Hell
Did
yeah!
we all buy that
days,
dirt?
Yo.
It was dirt.
Listen, I used to work on West 4th Street, and I used to just bring some food. So I worked at a Mexican spot. He's like, grab some vegetarian burritos, walk over to the park, and be like, "Yo, I trade you."
Right? It's a businessman and a businessman.
So, there was a couple of dreads that I knew. It's like, there he comes. It's like, what you got for me today? And I was like, what you got for me? Like, it all depends. You give me dirt, I'll give you half of this burrito. You want the whole thing? Give me the
Bombo
fire.
clot. Give me the vegetarian burrito, man.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we're still operating quietly. Like I said, it's for members only, and we're still trying to figure out what is it that we can do. I do know that once this becomes legal, alcohol will not be able to be served alongside these meals, nor will we be able to, sell any of our edibles through that, which is fine because, this platform for us is about education. Like, we're educating people on how to use it correctly, how to infuse it, and I want to teach the world how to infuse properly because you just can't dump a whole bunch of medicated butter into your arroz con pollo and expect not to be like holding on to your seat. It has to be measured properly. So these dinners will do that. It'll educate people on how to cook with it, how to dose properly, how to microdose, and how to enjoy it.
All right.
I remember there were just some, I don't know what you call it in the culinary world, but I'll call them like embellishments to the dishes where cannabis was infused. Por ejemplo, I believe it was the crab. I'm not sure, but there was keef around it, right? You used it, and I don't know if it looked so good, but it was also edible. Like it was cooked keef, right? If
it wasn't keef. It was like I took some of the flour and shaved it. Onto the top. Okay. So it's like think of it, it's an herb, right? So the flower in its raw state is an anti-inflammatory, right? Once you apply heat, activate the THC, that's when you have the psychoactive effects. So you can chew on a bud and it's like taking Tylenol, right? It's going to take away your headache. It's going to take away your pain. Applying heat activates it, and that's where you get the effects. So if you got a nice lemon kush and you shave it, it's like sprinkling some lemon parsley on top of your pasta.
Wow. Love kush, man. I love the kush, man.
Yes. Yeah. My next question is actually about your training, could you tell us about your training and your past and sort of what led up to where you are now?
So when it comes to my training,
Or
I
or
went to
your
the
experience
You've been
or
in the service
everything.
industry. Yeah, you've been in the service industry
Yeah.
for a long time. Talk to us about
yeah,
that. Your history. Me and you talked about that, earlier.
yeah. So I started working in the service industry when I was 17 as a
Wow, me
delivery
too,
boy.
man. Me too. Me
You
too.
know, I worked at Benny's Burritos in the West Village.
I
I
Wow.
was a
love it.
delivery
Oh my
boy.
God. I
I
love that place.
uh,
okay.
and I worked my way up from there,
Oh,
to management. I worked every position in the restaurant: server, busboy, manager, and just it was only inevitable that I would lead into the kitchen. I've cooked since I was 8, so cooking was
wow.
always something that inspired me and drove me. Uh, as I progressed in this industry, I got into catering. I launched my own catering company.
Wow.
I was paying my chefs way too much money. 9/11 hit, and a business that was doing extremely well, I lost 70% of my clients.
Damn.
Ay,
Like everything just crashed. So I
Shit.
ay.
said, let me go to culinary school and see what this is about. And literally, I saw the commercial on TV. I enrolled the next day and started my journey to become a chef.
Wow.
Wow.
Now I did the work study program at ICE, the Institute of Culinary Education, where I worked for the school in order to pay for my tuition. So I saw the commercial, I enrolled the next day, and I started literally working with other chefs. Like I was working for the school. So my
Wow.
first experience in this culinary school was with Chef Richard Rubin, and he's doing a
Mm.
recreational class. And he said, take your ego and throw it out the door. This is
Mm.
addressed to the class. He goes, you can make the best dish in the world and you can get tons of accolades for it. And one person can come and have one ingredient to make it better, and that's it.
You're
Mm.
done.
So there's no ego. Food is a living art. For me,
Ah.
those words just
Ooh.
inspired, it gave me my trajectory. It's like I knew that I was going to experiment and I was going to disrupt, the culinary world, right? Because I was just going to do shit and be like, if it tastes good, I don't give a shit if these are the rules. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want.
Ah.
So I started doing that. And, when I graduated in '07, I literally started working in Soho at this restaurant called Lola. I was there
Oh, I remember that.
for okay, right, Southern
Yeah.
food,
Yeah, I remember
gospel
that.
brunches, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was there
Ooh.
for 2 months, and I listened to the chef and the owner get into an argument, and she gets fired.
Holy smokes.
And then the sous chef said, "Well, if she's going, I'm gone." Right? And they both left. And the owner comes up to me, and goes, "You want to be the chef?"
Huh.
I said, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing." He said, "Don't worry about that. I can. You know how to cook, and you know how to run a team. I'll teach you the rest of the stuff."
Hmm.
I
And that was the start. I was in the right place at the right time. 2 months out of culinary school, I'm the executive chef at Lola. It's like
oh
Wow.
my God.
we're just blowing up the whole scene and just like messing things up. And it was a great experience. Like it just put me in a place where I knew that this is what I needed. Like
Wow.
food was my canvas,
Wow.
and I needed to paint the picture that I wanted on every single plate.
Cool. Miguel, tell us real quick the inside. I mean, I worked in the service industry myself for over 10 years in New York City. Tell us what a chef has to go through, because I've seen chefs in that kitchen, man, and it's no joke. The pressure to produce like on a Saturday night or Friday night. So tell us what that feels like, man, to put a team together and go through those hard weekends. Tell us what that feels like.
Well, you first of all, you have to be a masochist because it's just pain, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be in a kitchen that's pumping, that's going to be hot. You're going to be juggling multiple personalities, front of house and back of house.
Yeah.
So, in order to be a chef, you have to be highly organized. You have to be a leader. You have to be confident. You have to stand by everything that you do, and you got to have the back of everybody in your kitchen, man.
Hmm.
No matter what, it's like those guys. It's very much like the military. It becomes a brigade. Everybody has their role, you know.
Right.
Like when we're in service, it's yes chef, no chef, I don't know chef. There's no other conversation.
Hmm.
And we need to focus and just be zenful. You know, for me,
Wow.
that Saturday night when it's slammed and all tables
Yeah.
booked, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and be like, "Chef, there's a table of 15 that came in," and you're like, "Yo, we are cranking." I'm like, for me, it's just like everything goes silent, and
Wow.
I'm at peace. But that's the way my brain works. Other people, you know, lose their shit, but it's like my brain works. I'm like, yeah, just bring it on, no matter what.
Yeah. And you
Like,
got to
there's
be the
nothing.
captain. You got to be the captain of that ship, man.
Of course, there's no problems. There's only solutions.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I could imagine. I seen it in action, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about the future of this industry. I think you're a pioneer. I think it's safe to say that you're a pioneer. You are leading the charge. Do you see this as a trend? Do you think that we will see more restaurants infusing cannabis? Do you think that there'll be restaurants with both types of cuisine offered one day? Or what's the
Hmm.
future? What's the future of this industry under your hazy crystal ball?
Ooh.
My
See what I
smoky
did
crystal
there, right?
ball.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
yes, yes.
hazy.
All right. It's
Yeah.
hazy.
My purple hazy crystal ball.
I love that you went up that. That was perfect.
I do see it. I see it very much, you know, like alcohol and prohibition era, right? Um, People weren't cooking with it, or people, you know, there was a lot of restrictions on what you can do. I do see the culinary world changing where you will see cannabis cuisine. You know, you have people like the pizza pusher who's like doing his like
Yeah.
weed pizza. And you know,
Yeah.
God bless him. It's like he's crushing it and he's doing his thing. There's a lot of cannabis
I've
chefs
been
out
faithful
there.
to you. I haven't gone, bro. I've been faithful to you, bro. I haven't gone, bro. People been
Let me
inviting me.
be
I was
your
like,
first,
nah, I gotta
man.
go to 99 first, bro.
Me neither. I have not gone.
Let me pop your cannabis cuisine cherry. Okay.
Woo woo.
Okay. But you know, I do see it um changing. I do see the whole conversation changing, and there's a lot of talent out there. And once we can incorporate it freely, it's going to be a completely different world, man. I think there's going to be less fights in the world.
I believe it. And don't we need that right now?
Yeah,
Truth
for
talk.
Oh
sure.
my goodness. Yeah.
Everybody needs to just chill. And I really think cannabis is a great global solution.
You said
Okay,
that
my
laughing, Rachel. I love it.
because it is a global solution. It really is. It works for everybody. It's a common denominator. It works no matter what, who you are, where you're from. Okay, look, I know there's future Miguels listening to this podcast right now. There's little
Ooh.
Miguelitos out there that like to cook, that like cannabis,
Ooh.
that don't probably before this podcast didn't think there could be an actual profession that they could make money in. And, you know, maybe they're thinking, how do I tell my family I'm into this? Can you give any advice to those future Miguelitos, those Miguelitos listening who, you know, maybe want to go down a similar path as you?
So all my future Miguelitos out there, one,
Please add
don't
an
be
echo to
afraid.
that. Please add an echo, okay? Augusto, please enhance that. Okay, I'll shut up.
One, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try anything. You know, I've lived my life by the motto, like people tell me you can't do it, I'm going to do it twice just to prove you wrong. Okay.
Ooh.
So get out there and do it. Don't be afraid. Just try. Because if you don't, you're never going to know what you can achieve.
Hmm.
Right? And damn, it's like, you know, take it easy. Don't be smacking people upside the head with these strong ass edibles until you know exactly what you're doing. Okay. You don't want to scare people away. You want all that support.
Good.
Yeah. And wait, I should have added this part to the question too. How can one get educated on like dosage and tinctures and all the stuff that you know so well, like a science? How did you do it? How can the Miguelitos do it?
You know, this has been 7 years in the making. So, you know, there's been a lot of trial and error. Like
Hmm.
some major errors. They were fun along the way, but it's like, oh shit, when is this gonna end? It's been like 8 hours.
Oh, no. Oh my god! Wait, hook it up. I would like to see that.
But for those that want to learn more about it and how to dose, it's like, we're going to be putting out some videos and stuff and some tutorials. We're currently working with, we're working with a couple of colleges to create a cannabis course.
Wow.
Right.
What?
So, yeah.
Cannabis curriculum? I'm with that, yo.
Yes.
I'm telling you. And it's going to be available to everybody online, So that's something I can't mention the colleges yet because, contracts haven't been signed.
Harvard, Yale, Columbia.
You know what? I hope it's Harvard because then the fucking payout will be huge. What? Come here.
Do it.
But there is going to be some cannabis curriculum. There's cannabis curriculum that's being created right now. In the meantime, hit us up, follow us on 99th Floor. That's 99THFL on Instagram, just to stay up with what we're doing and get this information.
Right.
Yes, you guys, please put your pots and pans in the air again, and emphasis on the pots for Miguel Trinidad, 99th Floor. Check him out. Miguel, thank you so much, Chef Migs, for blessing us with your time and knowledge and just enlightening us and our audience. That was so amazing.
Wow.
Right, Frank? Are you
I'm on the 99th floor. I'm that high.
In the clouds, bro.
¿Qué?
Ay, qué lindo. Los nubes.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this.
Best of luck with everything. We are going to watch you from afar and just light some blunts for you along the way on this successful career of yours.
All right.
You're amazing.
We'll blow that smoke towards my orishas,
All right. Put the blunts in the air for Yema Yao Chun, baby.
There you go.
It was so great, you guys.
Wow. Yo, Miguel, I see you on that Jay-Z night, man.
Definitely.
What night is that? What night is that again? What date is that?
That's going to be the 4th. Saturday the 4th.
June 4th?
June 4th. Yep.
Oh my dude, I see you there, man.
Okay.
I will definitely see you there. I don't know how I could get in touch with you. I'll hit you up on IG.
Yeah,
I follow you. I follow you on IG.
Rachel has all my math. So
está bien.
Anytime.
Está todo. Lo vemos allá. Muchas gracias, manito. Oh my God. I'm still up there, Rachel. Oh my God. I'm up there in the sky. Mm-hmm. I got the munchie now. Oh Lord.
The munchies.
Yes.
Yeah, yo, it was an experience. I have to share with you, if you get the pleasure of doing it and being at the table, at Chef Miggs's table, you will never regret it, nor will you ever forget it. I'll never forget that night for the rest of my life. I've never done anything like that. And I'm so glad he was the first. He's right. Whoever pops that cherry for you will always be ingrained, maybe not in your heart, definitely in your belly and your brain for life. Because the food and the experience and the people, and shout out to everybody who I was with at that experience too, my fellow Latino hive heads, Cassandra and Sylvia and Anthony and some new folks that I met that evening. Juan Camilo was there too. Anyway, I'm really inspired also just from an entrepreneurial POV, his spirit, him overcoming myths and people trying to add stigma to what he does, including his own family, and just overcoming all of that. That's really inspiring. And everybody could do that, in their own right. We all face obstacles. I'm a mompreneur,
mompreneur.
Yeah, I'm a mom entrepreneur. I'm running a few different small businesses, and there are challenges, there are obstacles. I go home to Brooklyn sometimes, and my dad's still like, "Nah, Rachel's not working." I'm like, I don't have a 9 to 5. He thinks I don't work. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm working harder than I've ever worked in my life. And they also still think I have a radio show, not a podcast. So sometimes there's just no converting. But shout out to Chef Miggs, who converted his mom into a cannabis consumer.
That was interesting, huh?
Right?
He turned mom into a little a pothead on the low. I like that.
On the low.
Yeah, but she got rid of the meds. I like that. He got rid of all those meds, man. And that's I'd rather do the weed than take all those meds. Those meds destroy you. So shout out to him, man, for helping his mom convert, man. I think a lot of us gotta do that with our parents and our significant others sometimes that don't want to partake in it, and they're taking prescription drugs and messing themselves up. So that was
I wasn't
eye
in this
opening.
interview. Was he saying that the food that was infused with the weed, it helped his mom's health?
Well, his mom was taking prescription medication, and he saw that his mom was actually suffering from taking all that prescription medication, and
sleeping all day,
right, sleeping all day and looking all out of it, and he recommended that she take some he did some chocolate edibles for her with low dosage, which he calls microdosing, and she started taking it and she started liking it, and he saw her mood change. She became more jovial and she became more lively. And he saw a great difference in her mood and her health. So he knows awesome. It works. Yeah, that worked.
Microdosing though, like when it comes to chocolate, I'll always eat a little bit more than I should, and then I'm in the corner like.
Well, he's a maestro at that, Jamie.
I'm in the corner, like in the fetal position for like
right.
For 20
he talked
minutes.
about
I'm
that.
Like, I think I ate more than I was supposed.
Right.
I think
he
I
talked
ate too
about
much
that.
of the brownie.
Right. He microdoses and he knows exactly what to put in each one. And he tells you exactly when you're eating, when he does his full course meal, he tells you exactly how many milligrams he's putting in each course meal. So you kind of keep a tally on, on what you're consuming. I mean, like Rachel gave me all those edibles in California. You saw me on the floor, Jamie. So
why is it always Rachel gave me the edible?
We don't want that.
Right. Did I
heard you on the
floor feed? Did I stick an IV in your arm, melt the chocolate, and put it through the IV?
You were giving me edibles the whole week, and at the end, I just couldn't take it. I was like out for like I don't know how many hours. There was like a room full of people, and I didn't even feel them. I was just sleeping in the middle of the room.
That's what we do. We share. But I didn't put a gun to your head. I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
The gummy got me. The gummy got me that.
Oh
trip.
my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Gummies are, but he also like, I love how you said it. He's a maestro, not maestro, a maestro. Like in that he also programs the strands too. So like he'll infuse it's just like, I guess, flavors, like, know what flavors to combine when you're a chef. You know what condiments to add to your staple items, and he just has it down to such a musical science. Didn't it just sound like a beautifully composed 16 bars of food? It's really amazing.
That just seems like if you need a professional like that to help you with that sort of your recipe, because I could see someone effing up just like, wait, you put the whole batch into it? What the hell? I told you a little bit, a micro dose.
Why
are micro dose means?
Look what you did. Why are the guests at the table dancing the lambada on the table? What did you do? We often reference the lambada on this show. I think it's like Jamie's love for it. Now I love it because you love it. It's just such a great reference.
Because it's, it's forbidden. That's
the forbidden dance. Yes.
Shout out to him. I wasn't in his interview, but I had been to some of his past restaurants where he was a chef. A place called Maharlika, which was great.
Yeah.
And another place called Jeepney. So
wow,
I would have thrown those restaurants out if I was in the interview. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. But if I see him next time, I'll be like, yo,
dude, you got to go June 4th, man. You have an open invitation, man. Jay-Z, Biggie, come on.
I heard that in the interview. That was cool. The mixing of like the hip hop culture with that.
Let's do it, Jamie. Let's go.
Love it.
Let's go. I'm gonna be there, man.
Let's do it.
Let's get nice. Let's get nice, yo.
Why don't we get nice and do a que lo que?
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, vamos a bailar otra vez. Que lo que, 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 lo que. 1, 2, 3, menéate otra vez. Que lo que, que lo que, que lo que, lo que, que lo que, que lo que, lo que.
All right, it's the que lo que segment. We've got a lot of que, we've got a lot of lo, and we've got some more que. So what should we do first? I mean, we've got some shout outs, right?
Yeah.
Anybody want to go first? Toss the coin in the air. Frank, call it. Heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay, it landed on. Here, take a look.
It's
Make something up. There's no coin.
It's heads. It's heads. I'll let one of you two go. Go ahead.
Wait, what? That was you just all signs were pointing for you to go further. You just flipped the
right.
there.
He totally cheated in this fictitious game of tossing the coin in the air with no coin. Wow. All right.
If you guys want, I go first. I don't mind.
Yeah, go first.
I go first. I want to give a big shout out to an event that's going on June 8th, 2022. It's one of our former guests, Lemon Anderson. He's having a one night only event. Okay, go to his page. Yes, check it out. It's at a secret location. So I don't know. It's a one night only thing. This is big. It's for the Puerto Rican Day Parade thing. It's Lemon Anderson. This guy is intense. You got to check it out. Look it up. Go. It's gonna be on point, yo.
Oh wow. There's some secrets to this. I'm looking at the page now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, hopefully I'm gonna be in the building. Hopefully, I'll let you guys know how it went. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna see if I can get in. It looks like there's a process to get in. I don't know if I'm gonna make it past the criteria here, but I'm gonna try.
Let's see. I'm gonna talk about it if I get in there. Let's see what happens, guys.
Okay. Shout out to
Lemon. Yo, you know me, bro. What's up?
Yo, Lemon, remember me?
We're Instagram friends. Come on, bro.
Remember from Latinos Out Loud? Yeah.
He is a former guest of the show. Check out his episode and drop some gems and knowledge. Even work his way into our promo video because he dropped so many gems. Yeah, he's really brilliant. Shout out to him. Fabulous writer.
Yes.
All right.
And every time he talks, it sounds like
he's intense. He's one of the only people. I swear to God, the first time I met him, the first time I met him, I got fucking he froze me. Like he has this stare and this look that is it's an old school New York look. Like he'll freeze you and you're fucking and not too many people fucking freeze me like that. I was like, oh shit. I was with Mike, by the way. I was like, and he was like, yo, what's up, man? I was like, what's up, man? Yeah, he's intense, man.
He got the storyteller voice, so he'll be he'll be talking to you. He'll be giving you directions, and it sounds like some poetry shit. Yeah, he's like, yo, you got to go down a Canal Street, make a right. You see me outside of Soho House, then go upstairs.
Yeah,
and we break bread. And it's like, damn, that's deep. You just wrote that? He's like,
Lemon,
what are you talking about? Directions.
Why is everybody putting their lighters up? You just gave street directions. I don't understand what's happening. Why are people snapping? I just asked how to get to the store.
Yo, he's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. That's
the Lemon Anderson effect. He just has it.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm witness. It's those eyes too. There's stories deep behind those pupils.
Yeah, man.
And he also has mad daughters, so he's ready to fuck somebody up.
Right, exactly. Yep, you got it right. He got that.
He's just ready. Around. Brooklyn. Yep. I got daughters. Yep. What's your story? Yep. Look into my eyes so I can see. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
All right, Frank. Let them know where to follow you. If they're not already.
Nibs 0125, you know what it is. Instagram, on Facebook, Frank Nibs, you know what it is. You know where to find me. And on Twitter, I got Frank Boogie. I don't know. Maybe we call somebody from Twitter. Maybe we get my Twitter back. It's Frank Boogie, So you know what it is, guys. You know where to catch me.
All right, Frank Boogie. But that's a good name. It's a good name. You just want to be Nibs 0125 across the board?
Yeah, I'd rather be Nibs 0125.
All right, put it out in the universe. We'll see. Maybe some people from Twitter are listening.
All right.
All right. What's next? What's next on the docket?
Let me just do my shout out to Yero.com. Much love to them.
Yes.
If you don't know what Yero.com is, it's a Latino men's online destination for news and lifestyle content.
Yes.
So, but they're taking it serious lately with the rash of hate crimes recently. Yero is taking a look at what a hate crime is, according to the law, and what it will take to get justice for victims.
Wow.
So, we were mentioning before, there's a lot of Asian hate crime. The Jewish community has been dealing with a lot of hate crime recently. So, Yero is tackling this pretty heavy topic. So check it out.
Shining a light on this, man.
Yeah, man. So visit Yero.com for the whole story on that.
Wow.
Shout out to myself, I guess. Go check me out on Instagram, J Ferns.
All right.
J_Friends Twitter. You know the rest.
Yeah, let me check that out.
I
Hold on.
will leave it to Rachel.
Okay.
Yeah, guys. You can follow me at Rachel La Loca, RACHEL La Loca on all the socials. Some fun stuff coming up. Some more comedy shows and events, especially this summer. This summer is going to be so popping. Oh,
I agree.
my God.
Oh wait, I didn't mention, but we had thank you to the studio that hooked us up with Top Gun Maverick tickets.
Oh, right,
man,
you guys.
I know you
I
have.
couldn't make it. Jamie, did you have fun?
No, it was great. It was an awesome sequel to Top Gun. I'm a fan of the first Top Gun, even though it's very 80s and kind of cheesy and doesn't really completely hold up the first one, but I still love it. And this one delivers, doesn't disappoint.
Wow.
See it on a big screen, see it with a loud theater, because there's a lot of like fighter pilot battles in this that are just like, you need to hear it in the best surround sound.
Would you say it's better than the first one?
Yeah, I think it's a better move. The first one is just kind of so 80s that you can't recreate it.
Right.
And I don't know if you want to recreate it because it's not gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's, but you know, I'm nostalgic for it, so I like it. But there's some people that used to like it back in the day and they see it now and they're like, how did I like this movie? The first one's a little bit like a lot of cocaine when it was involved in the making of that film or the writing of that film and stuff like that. But this new one is like it's just well made, polished. Directing is good, action is good, but it's really the Tom Cruise show. So if you're a Tom Cruise fan,
all right.
Well, I'm glad it sounded like the movie took your breath away.
Oh my
God. Was the song in the sequel? Was it or no? Because that to me is such an iconic.
That
song.
one wasn't. They did bring back Danger Zone.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I gotta see
that one
into the
Danger Zone.
And when you hear that, that gets you into it. Like I was in my seat, just like, you know, the people next to me probably were like, why are you dancing?
You guys are such guys and I'm such a girl, because you hear me, I'm like, what about the song, the take my breath away, like the kissing scene? What?
Yeah, I mean, they had like an awkward sex scene in the first movie with that song. It was like, I don't know why, the way it was filmed. If you ever see Top Gun again and you see that sex scene, you're gonna be like, why was it filmed like this? It looks so awkward. It looks like they just met and they just like were forced at gunpoint to have a love scene. And this movie, there's no love scene. You know, there's little kissing scenes here, but nothing crazy. So I don't think they had a spot for it. You know what I mean? But if they, you know, and I don't know if you want to see like, you know, Tom Cruise at 60 years old with some raw sex scene. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good point. That is
not being ageist. I don't think he wants to be in some raw shit either at 60. Keep that, you know. Keep it classy, you know. If it's an adult relationship in a movie, they could
no
just
saggy balls. No saggy balls. That was back then.
It doesn't have to be
Frank.
raunchy. It can be sweet.
Well, check out Top Gun Maverick in theaters May 27th, and shout out to the studio for always inviting us to these fabulous films.
Damn, Jamie, you've been going to all the events this week, yo. Holy
I'm
smokes.
not an event guy, but this week for some reason was my week to do it. You know what I mean?
Shit. He's still COVID untouchable. Remember, he's still Super Mario.
Right.
So yeah, maybe because now I feel like above the law without, you know, since I got it. I'm like, I got at least a couple months here of where you get that power up shit like in a video game, like, you know what I mean? Like I got that shit. So.
Okay, so I don't want to get into too many shout outs. My only other shout out is gonna probably turn the dial here a little bit, because we here at Latinos Out Loud, our hearts hurt so much. Our hearts are shattered, actually, just given this horrendous tragedy that took place in Texas yesterday. 19 fourth graders, 2 adults.
Wow.
At Robb Elementary School. There's so much that we could talk about here on Latinos Out Loud. Sadly, it looks like most of these children, if not all, just not sure, but they all look Latino. They all look like our people. So I would just like to ask everybody listening to this podcast right now to join us in this moment of silence for the victims and the families of the Robb Elementary mass shooting. It's hard to look at these pictures. Thank you so much, guys, for your respect and for joining us in a moment of silence on a podcast. It's weird. We're not at a live event, but it just felt right. There's so much more that we can do than just moments of silence. Let's not be so silent about this one, you know? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it on this podcast some more. And let's talk about some changes that need to be made to this country because we cannot become numb to school shootings. It's not something that we can just see on the news and be like, yeah, this has happened before. We're numb to it. No. Not
Yeah, I
no.
mean, how many of these kind of tragedies are gonna happen before? It just seems like it's the same kind of deja vu. This happens, people up in arms, and then nothing happens. It's like everything stays the same. But you know, again, it's all about money when it comes to guns. So as long as there's money that goes along with it, there's gonna be politicians that are gonna, you know, disguise the reason for the guns as freedom, but really it's more for it's a money thing. It always points back to money, you know.
Yeah.
But don't get me started.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. On that note, we out.
Sonoro.